Applications of right triangles allow us to solve a triangle, and a triangle has 6 parts. It has 3 sides, and it has 3 angles. And when we're asked to solve a triangle, 3 parts are going to be given and 3 parts will need to be found. 2 concepts that are going to help us are the Pythagorean theorem and our right triangle trigonometry, sine, cosine, and tangent. A, B, and C, as we've talked about before, are angles and sides. The capital letters stand for angles and the lowercase letters stand for sides. Now in the Pythagorean theorem, you've got, I kind of like to say this as the leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So that's what a squared plus b squared equals c squared, assuming that c is the largest side and the side across from the 90-degree angle. A and B are going to be acute angles, and these acute angles, the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle A, I guess I should have said A plus B, I was looking at it from right to left, is equal to 90 degrees. So when we add those 2 angles together, we're going to get 90 degrees. Let's take a look at solving a triangle. When we're given special right triangle information, we don't need a calculator. So for instance, if we find that we have a 30, 60, 90 or a 45, 45, 90, we will not need to use a calculator. And we can tell that we have a 30, 60, 90 or a 45, 45, 90 by the information that's given. For instance, in this problem, we're given the 30-degree angle. So if I were to draw my special right triangle, 30, 60, across from the 30-degree angle is side A, and across from the 60-degree angle is A times the square root of 3, and then across from the hypotenuse we have 2A. So I'm going to be able to solve this. I've got 30 degrees, 90 degrees. That means this angle E is 60 degrees. So angle E is one part that I needed to find, and it's 60 degrees. What other part will we need to find? Well, we're going to need to find side length E and side length D. We were given an angle, and a side. And from that, we're able to find the other 3 parts. So angle E is equal to 60 degrees. 14 is an important number here. 14 corresponds to the hypotenuse. So 14 is going to equal 2A, which means A is going to equal 7. So the side that is A is across from the 30-degree angle. So the short leg, we'll call this the short leg. This is the short leg. The short leg in the 30, 60, 90 versus the long leg. The short leg is going to be half the hypotenuse. So side length D is going to be 7. And then the long leg is going to be the short leg times the square root of 3. So side E is going to equal the short leg of 7 times the square root of 3. And those are our 3 parts that we needed to find to solve the triangle. Okay, let's try that again. It was so much fun. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, here we have 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and a side length. Now 60 degrees for one of my acute angles means that the other acute angle is going to be 30 degrees. So I have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I'm going to reproduce that 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. Across from the 30-degree angle, we have the short leg, which is 4. That means the long leg is going to be 4 times the square root of 3. And the hypotenuse will be twice the short leg, so that is going to be 8. So I'm going to fill in purple. Side length AT is going to be 4 times the square root of 3. And the hypotenuse HT is going to be 8. So we have solved this triangle. Those are the 3 parts, 30 degrees. Our long leg is 4 times the square root of 3, and our hypotenuse is 8. Now remember, this setup only works when we have a 30, 60, 90. So in the next example, we have what kind of a triangle? Well, we've got a 90-degree triangle. So they're giving us this angle. They're giving us this side. And that looks like it's only 2 parts. But they are telling us that the 2 acute angles that add up to 90 degrees are equal. That's what those single arc marks mean. So that means that angle N plus angle A is equal to 90 degrees, and angle N equals angle A. Therefore, angle N must be 45 degrees and angle A must be 45 degrees. Because those 2 angles are congruent, we know that the 2 legs are congruent. And that's because we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now, if the legs are 4, that means the hypotenuse is going to be the leg times the square root of 2. So our answers are 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 4, and 4 times the square root of 2. So now I believe it's time for you to try. So let's see if you can try to solve this triangle. See if you can solve this triangle. Press pause and then come back for an answer. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you gave this triangle a try. Because the 2 legs are equal to each other, that means the 2 angles across from them are going to be equal. That's the definition of an isosceles triangle. So we have 45 degrees, 45 degrees. So angle B is equal to 45 degrees. Angle G is equal to 45 degrees. And we could say that that's given information because of B and G being congruent, but we're going to list it off to the side anyway. And then because the hypotenuse is 6 times the square root of 2, each leg is going to be 6. So lowercase b is 6 and lowercase g is 6. Now, how do we know that? Because in a 45 degree triangle, the legs are congruent. That's what these tick marks mean. And then the hypotenuse is the leg times the square root of 2. So the leg times the square root of 2 equaling 6 times the square root of 2 means that A equals 6. Therefore, that's how we got this leg equaling 6 and this leg equaling 6. Now in the next video, we're going to start solving triangles using the calculator. So make sure that you have your calculator handy, because the next ones are not going to be our special right triangles. I'll give you a glimpse. We're going to be solving triangles of all sorts of different measures.